Dude, I absolutely cannot, and I've never been able to.
All right.
Like,
That would help.
I mean, like, I get the general premise of it, but like, I've never had time to sit back and watch like 94 Marvel movies in order, in this like stupid order. Like, my dad did that during COVID, and I'm like, that sounds fucking exhausting. Like finding all that shit. You gotta watch Ant-Man 1, and then you gotta watch the Hulk, and then you gotta watch Captain America 3, and then like, dude, shut the fuck. I don't fucking care. Like, I
Just
love
get the
comic
Cliff
books, I love
Notes.
superheroes. Yeah, I just don't give a shit anymore, man. Yeah, like, let's fucking, you milked this fucking cow for all it's worth. It's just a skeleton of what it once was. Like, just, we're just done.
Yeah, I can't. Deadpool is like the only Marvel movie that I kind of make an exception for. So that's kind of why I watched it.
Really?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
you saw it?
Yeah, I watched it on Thursday.
Oh, did you get the commemorative fucking popcorn bowl?
No, I'm not that big of a fan, but
Well, you can't fuck this one like you can with Dune. I don't think this one was
I'm pretty
fuckable.
sure that's what. Have you seen it?
I think
It's
that's
it's Wolverine's
No, but I
O
don't think it
face.
was fuckable. Oh, I don't know, man. Hugh Jackman's a great looking guy, but that doesn't sound fuckable.
No, I went on Thursday, and this is the reason why I started recording, by the way, because this is kind of going to trail into our. I just want to talk about this with you guys, but I was in the movie theater, and Marvel movies, and this isn't going to give away any spoilers, but I just want to ask real quick, just on air production meeting, are you guys lagging out? Is it freezing on you?
Nope.
It's free.
No, everything
Must
was
be
fine
something
to
wrong
me.
with you.
Yeah, it might be, but we'll keep rolling as long as it's recording. Anyway, but I went to Deadpool on Thursday.
Peek behind the curtain.
And fucking, all is normal, all is well, right? And it's a Marvel movie, so it's got like I said, there's things that are in there that are nostalgic and like whatever. But there is a gentleman who in Marvel movies, kind of cater maybe to kids, typical ones. I'd say Deadpool maybe not so much, but like you kind of maybe there's a demographic involved that may or may not have special needs, maybe. So they get excited easily, maybe, hypothetically, at other Marvel movies. So you kind of have
hypothetically, for argument's sake,
you kind of have more patience going to those kind of movies because there's kids. Like, it's a kids movie. Like, at the end of the day, like they get to have their kid time, right? But I'm in a movie at Deadpool full of fucking adults, full of adults, like 25 plus, let's say. But there's this fucking guy. In every nostalgic thing, anything action packed, anything would fucking bark, dude. He barked.
Bark like a dog?
like a fucking. The best thing I can compare it to, and I'm not trying to be offensive, and I swear to God, it's the first thing that came to my mind when he started doing it, because he did it throughout the entire movie. Is you ever see the movie Wrong Turn?
Yeah.
I think so, but it's been a minute, man.
That movie is loosely based on the inbred family in West Virginia that they did a documentary on. And and one of the gentlemen in the documentary, and folks, turn down your volume because I'm gonna make the noise that he did. I'm not making fun of it. I'm just simply
back away from your mic a little bit,
doing an impersonation. But this is exactly what, and he did it probably I'd say 70 times, rough number. But anyway. So he did this every time.
Holy shit! Fucking completely clipped out. This is fucking silence.
Okay, I'll do it kind of quieter. He went like, "Ow!" But like not
Michael Jackson.
Yeah. I don't know how else to describe it. But he was screaming. He barked like a dog. Like, he barked like a dog. Like, I don't know. And it was just that. It wasn't like people would be like, oh wow, that's happening. This is cool, whatever. But he would do that noise every single time. And a lot of people were getting upset. Like, people were audibly going like, dude, like, come on. Like, because it wasn't like it wasn't a special needs person. It was an adult. He was a full functioning, like, he was normal. He, not to say that they're abnormal, whatever. But he was barking like a fucking dog.
Eric, you know what you should have done? You should have queued up fucking dig a dig a dig a dig 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 a dig 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 a dig. Ow!
Oh,
fucking smooth criminal.
Yeah, man. Well, the thing is, that's another thing too. They weren't like, you didn't know when they were coming because it was kind of like out of tempo. I don't know. You kind of had to be there. It's a lot. It sounds like I'm complaining, but it was just out of the ordinary. It was one of those things where it's kind of like, Jesus, am I fucking, like, is this real life right now? Am I like, is everybody around me? Like, is this what you guys have to put up with? Or am I fucking, am I losing it?
So first off, I forgot the first off. But secondly, I did also have a guy in my fucking movie theater, but he was a little different. He didn't bark or fucking, grab his crotch or anything, Michael Jackson style. But he did. It seemed like the jokes were going really quick at times in the movie. And like, I swear to God, it was too much delay. Like, we were on to the next scene. It would just be, ha! Like, dude.
Yeah, I think similar, because it was like out of nowhere. The first couple times it fucking scared me, because he was right in front of me too. Like, it was loud. It was louder than, it wasn't like, it was like, it was
this
right.
Guy all right?
I was like, fucking IMAX 3D, dude. It was right there. But I should have known. The first thing that should have fucking red flagged it was like, he was drinking beer out of a cup with a straw. So I was like, all right, like, this should be it.
Boy.
That's illegal. That shit's illegal. You should be thrown in jail for that shit. There was one time I thought that was okay, and this guy had a big fake, like, super big fake beard on, and he didn't want to get it full of gross shit, so he used a straw, because he was dressed up as, like, a Hasidic Jew for Halloween, like, with a big long beard and the curly hair and everything. So that's, like, I guess that's fine. Otherwise, that shit's illegal.
I get that, yeah. Yeah, man. But otherwise, like, it definitely, like, ruins some of the movie. Like, there is this, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to give anything away, but there's like a certain part of the movie where it's like, you need to like hear what it's saying to kind of like get the whole part of the scene. And like, he would listen to some of it, bark a long time, like bark loud and long. And it's like, well, fuck. Okay. I missed that part of it. But like, he's laughing at the first part. So like, I'm like, I get it. And then like, he'd listen again, bark long. Like, it was like a long scene. So he's like, bark a little, like I'd get like 33% of the fucking scene because he had to bark through the other 66%. Anyway,
I remember my other thing I was going to say. I think COVID kind of ruined us being around people. Like, it's, I don't know. Like, it's not only is it harder to deal with people like that, it's also harder to just, I'm sure I piss people off all the time with what I do. And like, I try and be quiet, mind my own shit, and just not disrupt anyone else's night. But I'm sure like this one guy sitting right behind me is like, I'm gonna fucking clock this asshole or something. I don't know.
I see,
dude. Like, it's different though. Like, here's the thing. Like, I understand. Like, I've had moments where, like, in a movie theater, like, it's a scene where it's like, oh, everyone gets excited. We're all cheering at the same time. We're all laughing at the same time. Like, we're all clapping at the same time, or like whatever the case is. But like, dude, if you decide to do your little bark woo thing like once and you don't get it, like, people aren't like, yeah, let's all do this together and it'll be a fun moment where everyone like gets excited about the same shit. Like, because that sounds to me like this dude kept trying to do the same thing and get a reaction out of the whole theater, and it just never fucking landed because and then of course he's annoying. So like, here's the thing. I think you're right that it is harder to be around people, and that we probably forgot how to be around people. But this sounds like a fucking extreme case. Like, I tell you what, there are like only a couple chances that you have to fucking bark in a movie. And it's like, the last time I think I would have allowed a bark was when I saw Barbie and fucking Margot Robbie walked on the screen. You want to bark at that? Dude, I understand, man. Like, you have needs, and I get it. But you want to fucking bark and woo at every fourth thing Ryan Reynolds says? Like, I'm fucking sorry. You get the fuck out. Like, that shit is not okay, dude. Like, if you're in a movie theater, like, shut the fuck up. If you're in the movie
Turn your
theater,
fucking phones
shut
off.
The fuck up and
don't watch movies. Don't clap. They can't hear you.
It's not a fucking play.
But hey, do you think like these people that do the barking and the fucking noises and shit, or the obnoxiously loud laughter that just, there's no way you laugh that loud like when you're actually laughing genuinely, and it's a fucking act,
right?
Like, it feels like that's been ramped up since COVID too. Like it's like for attention almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everyone look at me.
Oh, yeah.
I want attention. I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy.
well,
Maybe COVID's fucked me up.
Well, that's the thing. That was my next point. Was like similar to what like Zach was saying. Like you after the first time, like haha, yeah, okay, well, like we'll put up. It's almost like a kid when they get like maybe a half a laugh and they'll just commit to the bit for the rest of the evening or something like that.
The rest of their life.
Right. But I think
100%.
like in this situation or in many situations when this happens, in my opinion, it's like, you know, everyone's here to experience this thing, and in this case, it's Deadpool. Like it's been a while since the last movie, and you know, it's a popular movie. It's Ryan Reynolds, like you said. Like this is a funny time. Like I said, this is the only Marvel movie that I will go and watch, and I got my ass out of the couch and went to go see it, and now I have to deal with this fucking guy barking. And the thing is, people, I think, when they do that shit, it's like they want people to go there, and they want it to be about them. It's not about like they don't want to be funny, like not that. Like they either want to piss people off, make a statement, whatever, but they just want it to be about them, good or bad. You know what I mean? So like different from the kid that gets the laugh, he's chasing the waterfall, man. Like all people who think they're funny do. I can attest to that. You want to make people happy, you want to make them laugh, but like the kid knows when they upset people, they want to stop. This guy just wants the attention no matter what.
Good or bad, doesn't matter.
Good or bad, yeah. Attention's still attention. Whether anyway.
Dude, I think like I mean going to like so it's like a superhero movie still, right? And it's gonna attract a wide audience because it's a Marvel movie, and again, it's like it's funny and silly. But man, like I don't know what kind of people you guys are around daily, like be it at work or anything like else. But like anytime I'm around like real like I want to use the word nerd, but that encompasses too much. But like kids that like are only into fucking like anime and weeb shit and like are only into like fucking childish shit and they don't have a personality beyond that. That's the type of shit you're describing is like they will do shit for attention just because it's attention. Like there's a guy at work and I've brought him up before, I think in other situations, but like he will do weird shit for attention even when I'm like, dude, like what the fuck, man? Like he'll like tickle my fucking elbows and shit. Like he'll sneak up and fucking do like fucking tickle my elbows and freak me the fuck out. And I'm like, bro, like, and I've told him like, dude, don't fucking touch me, man. And he still will do it because it gets a reaction. And it sounds like that's the type of person that was. And that is like, I love y'all, but all you fucking dorks need to like figure it the fuck out. I know half you are on the spectrum. Like, god damn it. Like I probably am too, but Jesus, man, like it's all these fucking people that like just don't like they're not around, they don't consider how their actions affect other people, and it's got to be more than just like having what used to be known as Asperger's where you just fucking don't understand emotion.
Yeah.
You know, you'd think like the absence of people laughing at you would be enough for him to be like, oh, is that maybe should I maybe
it's
not?
me.
You know?
Yeah,
maybe it's fucking my fault. But like, dude, yeah, it's I just think that type of movie is gonna attract like that type of person. And like, no hate on all of your weeb shit. I love Dragon Ball Z too, but fucking quit jerking off to fucking like hentai waifu fucking bullshit and like go touch grass, please, for the love of Christ.
So I got two things, and then we'll really get into what we're here for. First of all, no, first thing, so to that point, dude, like it, you can't really even get mad at it because you want to like, you kind of like, first of all, you can kind of understand it. Like you get like these people, they can't recognize social situations where they might be the one that's kind of like, all right, dude, relax. You know what I mean? And they can't recognize, like you can't even have that conversation with them until maybe after the fact. But then it's like they get offended. Anyway,
I'm in this picture and I don't like it.
So it's so it's just kind of like you can sympathize and you're just like, shit, man, just come on, fucking get with the program, like wake up. Secondly, if you are one of those people, do what we did and start a podcast. All right, because we're like that too. Anyway, so
yeah, buy a microphone. They're very cheap. Just plug it in. Get it out. Give her hell.
Get it out there. And we barely have anybody listening to us, but as long as you have an outlet. All right. So, with that being said,
are the listeners in the room with us now, Eric?
Speaking of somebody who just needs to get it out seemingly all the time and also has an outlet, Donald J. Trump was, after our last podcast, which, like I said, I think I put a disclaimer on the episode description that, political violence is never a situation to any problem that you may or may not have. But
solution. It's never a solution, not a situation.
It's never a solution to the problem.
What did I say?
Regardless,
you said situation of a problem you might have.
It's never a situation the problem. But someone did make the situation. I'll finish your sentence. And almost domed the former president on live TV. He was shot in the ear by what we now know as a 20-year-old fucking guy.
And
child,
we're not even
man. 20 years old seems so young to me now. So
we're not even sure it was for political reasons either. I think he just kind of flipped a coin and saw who was closest to him and decided I'm gonna do that one.
Right.
Yeah, and there's conspiracies tied to that and everything too. But
right.
Yeah,
reserve judgment until you have the information. People, don't jump to fucking conclusions and make shit up in your head. That makes you seem crazy. Wait until you know shit about the situation.
Easier, Richard.
Stop it.
It's easier to assume.
I'm gonna take a rolled up newspaper to your fucking dong. You keep it up. Bad. Stop it.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah.
You were saying?
I couldn't tell if you laid out or not, and you were like talking, and then just
no. I was just swatting. Gotcha.
That's
it. He glitched out IRL.
But no, yeah, it's one of those things, man, where it's like, some people had conspiracy theories about that he just wanted to, start a civil war because maybe he was kind of just sick of everything going on. But yeah, I don't know. Feel free if one of you guys just want to take it from here. I can just take a back seat for 2 minutes.
I mean, yeah, there have been a lot of conspiracy theories on what this guy's motivations were, and if it was faked, if Trump faked it to get attention. Stop making shit up. That's all. I'll say it again. Stop making shit up in your head with what you think or want it to be true until you know what the fuck is going on in the world. I know that's hard to do because you want to live in a world where someone knows what the fuck's going on, but that's not the case instantly. That's not what fucking happens. There's a lot of moving parts, especially when something like this happens. You have to wait and be patient and reserve judgment until you have the fucking information at hand. It'll come out. Yeah. The story will evolve. You'll learn something new. It'll completely change the dynamic of what the fuck his motivations were, or maybe not. We don't know. And you shouldn't fucking jump to conclusions until everything's been investigated, and then you'll have the picture painted for you.
I think, especially when it's not like it was like nobody was killed, right? It's 2 people died that day. People were injured. It's people's lives were affected forever. And the second some guy gets on the internet and starts to claim that, this is fake, it's similar to what Alex and some of them were Democrats. It's like, come on, guys, like, or left-leaning folks. It's like, hey, we learn. You can learn from a bad example too, which was Alex Jones claiming that the Sandy Hook thing never happened. It's like, we're better than saying, regardless of who it was, something was fake because we disagree with their policies or whatever bullshit. Whatever, doesn't matter. Real people died. Some kid ended their life through their own action, and some person passed away.
Volunteer firefighter,
from a stray bullet.
Yeah.
So it's a real thing.
And before you say that God stepped in and said that, God saved fucking Trump's life and all that shit, remember that bullet also went and killed somebody, a volunteer fireman who, he was a Trump supporter or whatever, but that didn't mean he deserved to die.
Right.
He died protecting his family, and that's a shitty fucking situation to be in, and it's sad.
Yeah, I think no matter what, even if nobody died, if nobody died, it's a sad situation that somebody would go to that lengths to even, because then their life is still, effectively over, right? They'd be in prison for a while. Anyway, so
even if that kid hadn't been shot, he would have been done. I mean, there's an angle you can see where a sniper team on the roof is looking right at him, and only after he takes the shots do they take their shot. But so they knew he was there. So it's a matter of, if for some reason all of the sniper teams posted on all of the roofs around this rally miss, they know what building to stay
Right.
at the bottom of. That kid was done.
He wasn't walking
you
away
know?
alive from that. You don't take pot shots at a former president
No.
and then walk away from it.
No, not a chance. That's 1,000% if you are Secret Service or if you're local PD or whatever, that's 1,000% a shoot to kill situation, and they did. So unfortunately, this kid is no more. Like you said, those other two people from the crowd were no more. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's a wild thing, because growing up, you always read about presidential assassinations or assassination attempts, and you just go like, oh shit, it seems so long ago, and that probably doesn't happen anymore. Well, fuck.
Right.
We almost watched one on
Yeah.
CNN. CNN was there airing the fucking rally, and Trump almost painted the fucking back bleachers with his
Yeah.
brain, like, because of this kid. It was, again, it grazed his ear. Give him 2 inches over,
Yep.
and that's it. So we can only hope that Trump learned something from that, but it definitely doesn't seem like he actually did.
Yeah, and can I say, I also like to sort of jump in. Sorry, are we done? Are we done with this? We're gonna.
Yeah, I was just gonna segue to what Zach just
No,
said, actually. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Rick.
So Trump utilized this as a fucking marketing. Say what you will about the guy, he knows how to take advantage of a fucking photo op. Like, he pumped his fucking fist in the air.
That photo of him with the fist.
He knew what he was doing in that situation. He immediately took advantage of that. But I will say that Biden dropping out like almost immediately after that kind of took the wind out of that whole effort. At least somewhat. It seems to me that like Kamala stepping up is really energizing the Democratic side. It seems.
One thing before we jump into that real quick, I just want to say, so the photo op opportunity, everything too. Trump, one thing that he could have done, one thing that he should have done, when you're getting a second breath of life, let's say, because let's be honest, that 3 inches away from death, right? You're given like a second chance, basically, or like you're humbled. It's like, dude, you have this rare opportunity where you could capture both sides of the aisle. You can be Darth Vader in episode 6. You can lift up Sidious. You can bring balance to the Force. You have this rare opportunity at the RNC that's 3 days away to be like, hey, let's fucking calm down, everybody. All right? Everybody. You have this opportunity. And what does he do instead? He almost does it. He talked about it a little bit. He goes, I'm going to rewrite the speech. I tore it up. I'm going to write this uniting speech. And what does he do instead? He invites Kid Rock, Hulk Hogan, and everybody else to fucking jack him off on stage before it was a sad day. It was a warm day, actually. And he fucking tells a fucking story like it's a goddamn children's book. It's like, dude, we get it, but like if you were to just if you were to minimize the assassination attempt and be like, I get that just happened, but here's where we could go from here. That evil is dead, whatever. This is a new America, right? And he could have united both sides by that, or at least it would have been a start.
I think he had a good chance. I think you're right that he had a chance to try and pull something like that, but he just literally can't do it. He can't find it in himself. And instead, he delivered the most boring 90-minute speech I think he's ever delivered. He sounded bored of himself, and he's trying to follow up Hulk Hogan, which, by the way, very disappointed in the Hulkster for being that fucking guy. Also, what a fucking joke the RNC is and the Republican Party for having Hulk Hogan up there screaming like it's a WWE promo in the 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he had a chance, and he didn't do it. He really didn't. And I mean, he wouldn't have swung my vote. He's still a horrendous person, but any of those people that are truly undecided, which at this point, if you're undecided, I fucking can't help you. Just at this point, make a decision, throw a dart at the wall or something.
Flip a fucking coin, man.
But yeah, he could have. Yeah, I mean, he could have legitimately reframed his entire presidency and his entire candidacy as like, look, I learned my lesson from that. I straight up he damn near looked into the eyes of like God or Odin or whoever the fuck is out there, and instead his cult just wears the big bandages, and he got the fight chants going, and people are wearing, the shirts with the fist pumping thing.
Yeah.
No, he didn't rebrand at all, and he should have. He should have, for the sake of like democracy itself and like the way our country is acting, he should have just been like, all right, I get it. I've been a lot.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, just to reference Star Wars again, he did not go out like Darth Vader. He went out like Kylo Ren, and very much killed Han Solo. But yeah, I should say not like Kylo Ren in the last movie. Anyway, so one thing though,
strained. All right.
but I do want to say, old Bidesky. So to bring it back to Kamala, old Bidesky kind of, I'm not gonna lie here. When he announced that he was pulling, not going to be running anymore, I saw a bunch of compilations of like, or videos saying basically like, that's kind of the true patriot of Joe Biden. Like he put aside his ego, put aside his pride and everything. And basically said, you know what, it's time to change, time to put a younger generation forward. Let's think about the future instead of trying to hold on to power. It's everything that we kind of talked about in our first podcast, how these old people just can't let go on. And I don't think Biden was one of those old people that I was referencing. Just so we're clear, maybe not. I don't know, but I'm just thinking like it kind of made me think about like it was inspiring. I don't think it's been a while since I've been inspired by seeing something American, and I think that was one of those times.
Yeah, it is. I think you're right, man. Like we do bitch, the three of us, a lot about these old fuckers just won't let go, and we've even seen it like Nancy Pelosi the last time. We had to pick, or the Democratic Party, I guess, had to pick a Speaker of the House. She was like, no, 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 like pick me, and it'll be fine, and then I'll step down and I'll usher in a new generation, all this, and she fucking hasn't still, and that was how many fucking years ago, right? So, yeah, she's 1,000. She needs to be done, and she won't let go. And so I think you're right, Eric. Like honestly, like you can give him all the shit you want for being old and like decrepit and having like a brain that clearly isn't working so good and he's not so quick. The fact that he was like, look, I could be president again, the most powerful man in the country, if not like on the planet Earth that we inhabit, all fucking 8 billion of us. And he was like, you know what? No, because that's not what is for the greater good. So, like, this dude, in what could be like his final act as a public servant, just did this, just decided, like, hey, I'm done. Take the reins from me. I want you to have it, you know. And I think, I mean, that's huge, man. And I don't know if he timed it like that on purpose, with the assassination attempt. I feel like there's probably a lot leading up to this. I feel like that's coincidence that it wasn't like, oh, well, we got to fucking, you know, but I do think it took a little bit of the sails out of Trump's assassination attempt. I mean, also, what fucking timeline do we live in that all of this stuff happened like a week apart? This is absolutely fucking insane. But
it's crazy. It's crazy to me that an assassination attempt is just glossed over in a fucking week. Like this used to be a big fucking deal, and now we're like, anyway,
dude. That's the TikTok generation, brother. We just scrolled.
All you fucking Zoomers, dude, your brain's rotting. Well, you're not a Zoomer though.
I'm a Zooter that zooms, brother.
I don't know what generation. He got the Zoomies. Is what's up.
I think Eric is technically a Zoomer. Eric's Gen Z.
I got it. I'm like a hybrid. You catch me during the week, I'm a Zoomer, Zoomer. But like on the weekends, I'll relax. I'll look at the trees and think about my life. You know what I mean?
You're like, this tree is bussing on God for real.
I looked at some planes yesterday and just thought about them.
No cap.
I also look at the weather, like when the storm's rolling in. I'll pull a Midwestern dad, get on my white New Balances and put on my white socks and jorts, and
yeah, you got to go walk in the yard. Oh, tornado sirens are going off. I better go look at it with my own eyes outside. Like oh, look at that!
Dad's not here to tell me I can't.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. Yeah, but that's a good point though. That assassination attempt, and there's I think, like I said though, like I think Biden, pulling out of the campaign or whatever, kind of did it, and then also the fact that Trump kind of is the same person. I think everybody may or may not wanted to see a different character come out of this. I think people wanted to see him maybe turn the page on the same guy yelling in a microphone, or even his fan base probably. a lot of them were kind of like, yeah, we're still going to support you and whatever, but maybe we'll see, because they're going to support him either way. like even if he turns to the good guy, they're going to turn into the good people. Like good, I should quote, maybe not, he's not going to do a full fucking, 180. I'm just saying like 90, you know what I mean? Like he's going to, whatever, he could have. But he didn't. So he's the same guy. Nothing's changed. Like look at Kennedy. He changed. Anyway, all right, too soon.
Here's the thing, dude. I think the only way that Trump changed is like, I was listening to some reporting and he seems very uncomfortable in crowds and he seems far more reserved, a little more elder statesman-y. And I think that's twofold. I think he's fucking old and tired. This dude is fucking sleepy. He's 70 fucking 8 years old. This guy, he couldn't stay awake for any of the fucking speeches in the RNC. He's just tired. He's fucking old. And I think the other part of it is, in public, I mean, he's trying to still be the big fucking tough, big shot kind of guy that his base wants him to be, right? And that he's kind of billed himself as. But this man is still a human, and I don't fucking care who you are. If a bullet passes centimeters from your fucking skull, you're gonna have some fucking trauma. Now, how he's gonna handle that remains to be seen. And obviously, he doesn't seem to be publicly a different guy. And talking on the phone with people, he's not necessarily a different fucking guy. He's still talking it up and whatever. But like, I think it's a little bit telling that his campaign isn't selling this more, and that he is not pushing and selling this and talking about God save me so I can save you type of like that type of line that you would kind of almost expect him to take. He's not taking that. And I honestly am not sure either how much his base cares, because you would think they would talk about it more. But like at the RNC, there wasn't a lot of mention of, hey, the president was just almost shot. They're not trying to blame the left. Like, yeah, they all wore the stupid ear band-aid and shit, to do that. But you would think all the speeches, you would think, his VP pick, JD Vance would have said like, hey, like something about that, or anyone else, but no one really seemed to say anything about it from my understanding. So, it's a little bit shocking, I guess. But I think we're going to see a more tame Trump kind of in those private moments when he thinks he's not really being watched as much, and can fall asleep in the crowd a little more.
Well, yeah,
That's
it's crazy that they're not taking advantage of this assassination attempt as much as you would expect them to. And also, they really don't know how to handle Kamala. Like, they don't know how to sort of attack her. He's still going after Biden in his truths, or his Truth Social, whatever the hell, posts. He's still going after him and saying that, oh, he forgot that he dropped out, blah 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 blah. It's like, he's not your opponent anymore, man. You are now the oldest person going for the presidency. So now you can't use age anymore, and they're it seems like they're just caught with their fucking pants down, and they don't know what to do about it.
They are. The right's pissed, dude. They're trying to file lawsuits. They're saying this is unconstitutional. They're pissed because they don't know
how is it unconstitutional to say I'm not running anymore?
Because they want it to be. The DNC, the DNC hasn't had their convention yet. They haven't formally. Everything's still fair game. So yeah, no, it's absolutely, everything's above bar, man. Like,
yeah, and that's why when I texted you guys that, like, this was more, I feel pretty good about this, and I know we were kind of like, ooh, it kind of makes the Democrats look kind of whatever. That's why I said, like, well, this is their opportunity to, like, nobody needs to, like, showcase that they'd be a better candidate now, right? Like, everybody's kind of got to, like, this is not your time this isn't the moment. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's got to back Kamala. This is like, we got 100 days until the big show. Fucking shut up, support, whatever. Just going back, I just want to go back to Trump real quick about the not capitalizing off the assassination attempt. Now, they haven't really, the FBI and everything, they haven't confirmed yet if a real, like, the bullet actually hit his ear, right? Like, they're right now they're investigating whether or not it wasn't shrapnel. So do you think they're keeping it under wraps because there's a possibility it wasn't the actual bullet that hit him?
No, I don't think it would matter. I mean, he was wounded, so I don't think, regardless, I don't think he was wounded in an attempt on his life, and I think that's the beginning, middle, and end of.
Do you think anyone swayed by an attempt on his life would care?
I think verbiage, though. like took a bullet, and then everybody would argue, oh, shrapnel. I don't know. I was just curious about it. But also, he's not one to.
I don't think it would make a.
I don't think it would matter to the people that like give a shit about something like that give a shit about the fact that he was wounded or hurt in any capacity regarding an assassination attempt.
Sure.
And so I don't think it's worth arguing over that detail.
Gotcha.
Necessarily.
Yeah.
It's splitting hairs. It's splitting hairs to me at that point. And again, like I tell you, like I don't know, it's a weird thing where like, yeah, I mean, I guess you can. I wouldn't say the dude like took a bullet for America, right? That's kind of reserved for like, people who go to war and take bullets fighting wars for like freedoms. He got shot at by someone who, as far as we know, is just an unhinged 20-year-old kid.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, so it's hard to even pull that line, which is maybe why he's not. But I am still surprised he's not trying to sell it. And I think it is because he's got to be kind of disturbed by it. There's no way he's not. I tell you what, I mean, I could talk tough all day. If a bullet whizzes past my fucking head, I am not the same guy in the morning. You know what I mean? I'm not the same guy from that moment on. It's just because I'm a human being. And say what we want about him, as much as I dislike the guy, he is a human being with human emotions in certain situations. And I think his life, which I'm sure he already looks at ticking away, being 78 years old, like I feel like dealing with mortality has to be pretty fucking hard for guys, with like his level of ego. So remember, everyone, you fucking die too. Just, no matter how big your ego is or how big your dick is or how much you do to people, like you die too. So leave something nice on your fucking headstone. Christ's sake. Don't be a dick.
Also, I want to say, Eric, you kind of brought up the timeline of from now until the election, and people freaking out that it's apparently quick. But like Zach said earlier, we haven't the Democrats haven't held their convention yet. I think England only has they only have like a 2-month election process, like from start to finish. It's 2 months, and so
ours is extremely
it's drawn
long
out, and it's honestly, I kind of envy the short and sweet version that the Europeans enjoy, because I'm honestly getting tired of the fucking text messages and the ads and all the bullshit every election cycle. It's like, I don't know.
Well, it's every 2 years here too. Like, here's the thing: is like, so when a president enters office, even it's like, yeah, it's 4 years until they get elected again. But 2 years in, they have like House and Senate races and all that starts kind of coming up. And so basically, from 2 years in, I mean, what the president does is going to have an effect on House and Senate races and things like that. And then from that 2 years on, after those races, the president basically starts campaigning through their actions after
Right.
2 years, and they start kind of trying to rally the troops there. So it's like, I mean, it starts so far back. I think the one thing I will say is, like I think Eric had brought it up in our little private chat that we have, we brought up that mentioned that this might show some party instability, the fact that Biden dropped out so late in the race, and that, I mean, he's the first one to ever just drop out like that, right? So it's kind of a shocker. But I will say that, like, I think for better or worse, whatever you think of Kamala Harris, everyone seems to pretty much be playing ball, because I think they all realize the stakes of like, look, now if she suddenly gets a challenger and now we got to deal with all this bullshit, like that would show some real instability. But now being a little bit past it here, a little bit past the event, and having been able to kind of see what's been going on, it's pretty insane how everyone's just like, all right, she's it. That's it. We're just fucking doing this. Like, everyone shut the fuck up and go to work. And that's kind of what's happened. And, again, I don't know what her chances are. I have no idea what the polling is or anything like that. I don't know if it's a better chance or a worse chance than Biden. I would think it's probably a slightly better chance. And honestly, a lot of the things I worry about is the fact that I don't think anyone really knows what her policy positions are, because she wasn't really campaigning. So that's the other thing too that maybe we can touch on here is, so my understanding is that Biden and Trump were signed up for 2 debates, and they did one, which of course was a shithole, and we covered that. So now it sounds like Trump's campaign is running away or demanding that the remaining debate be held exclusively on Fox News, right? Which is going to be far more favorable to Trump. Now, my take is they should debate at least once, right? And I kind of feel like, honestly, Kamala should agree to a Fox News debate, even if it is going to be more
Going to
friendly
the
to
Lions
Trump.
Den.
I think it would just show exactly walk in there and hold her head high and go, listen, motherfucker, like this is what I'm about. I think that would be really good. But I do think that it really needs to be pushed that they debate on a more equal ground as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't pull them into like a very, like a CNN, like a very left leaning thing. Just be like, look, some moderate fucking thing, and I had a friend bring it up too, where if Kamala says, "Hey, we're going to debate on whatever, this moderate middle ground network," if Trump doesn't show up, she can just turn it into a town hall. Take questions from the audience, or maybe she can just take the questions from the moderators by herself and stick to the time, everything else as planned, but it'll be just her up there talking. And I kind of think that would be a little bit of a genius idea. I don't know how that works, obviously, functionally. I don't know how planning debates works and all that. But,
so,
but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts.
I would also add that if if she did go into a debate on Fox, she could also spin that, or her campaign could also spin that as, this is the only way Trump would debate me, and they ran away with their tail between their legs every other chance they got. The only way they would do it is if they had all of the fucking chips stacked on their side. If that tells you anything, right? They're not willing to come and fight on equal ground because they know they can't fucking win. They don't have any good ideas. They're just shitty fucking people that want to take more shit away from you. That's it.
Well, they don't have the age angle. Like you said, they don't have the age angle. Joe Biden, I mean, I don't even know how old Kamala Harris is, but she is not, in her 80s or in her 70s, So like it's a thing where they don't have this like, look at this decrepit old man. Do you want him really doing this? Like, no, this is, I mean, again, for better or worse, whatever you think Kamala Harris, she's younger. And I think she is still an intelligent individual. She can speak very well, right? Which is a thing that Trump hasn't had to debate. I mean, I guess since Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton's a perfectly good speaker, in my opinion, public speaker. But and that was tough for him. I truly kind of think that like had the whole email thing, the whole James Comey thing not happened, 3 days before the fucking election, I really am not sure if that's as big a swing towards Trump. Like I really don't know. That was 2016 should have been way more of a dogfight, on election day, but um and yes, and you're not going to have anything like that here. And really, like all the right seems to have is billing Kamala Harris, oh, she's a slut and she slept her way to the top, and like all the standard shit that you hear about women. It's really just the standard misogynist bullshit line.
I will say, along
so.
with with those sort of accusations too, I think that that's sort of backfiring. Because like a lot of people that were energized by this shift from Biden to Kamala are women, and so if you're accusing her of that, then all these women are hearing you say that. Like, all right, well, fuck you,
Right. Yeah. I saw on TikTok too a lot of same kind of shit too. Like I think it was even on Fox News. I don't know who it was, but I'm sure you guys saw it. You guys are familiar with that Hawk Tua girl, correct?
So
yeah. Who's that?
Yeah. Her 15 minutes seemed to be up.
One of the anchors, referred to Kamala Harris as the original Hawk Tua girl. That's how she got her job and everything. And that was on Fox. And even the Fox woman anchor was like, that was harsh. That was too far. I don't know if you guys ever saw that, but it was even like the anchor on Fox News, like you said, Zach, like that's like these guys are so fucking up their own ass or up Trump's ass. It's like, you guys understand, like you can be, like you said, misogynistic to this now woman democratic fucking choice or whatever, but women still are women. You say that shit about women, they're women, you know what I mean? So you're gonna have a lot of people jumping ship, and that's exactly what the comments were too. Like, I was voting for Trump, I'm now voting for Kamala, just based on the fact that all these fuckers are saying all this shit, and that's a small sample size, but I'm just saying, like, you see a handful of it right there. I'm sure there's thousands,
but that does have an effect on how this is gonna, how it's gonna go. And they just can't seem to help themselves, and I think that's kind of funny in and of itself, is that they can't attack her ideas. I mean, you've heard me say this before on the show, like you go after the idea, you don't go after the fucking person, and they can't fucking help it but go after either her race or her gender, but never her policy or her ideas or any sort of anything like that. They don't have anything, and I think that's really why they're panicking. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people too were itching for, like a new, fresh, and right or wrong too. Like, a lot of people do this and it might be wrong, like just voting for fresh blood, as far as like just anybody different. I just want to see somebody different than a Biden, than a Trump, than a Bush, than a fucking whatever. And this is it. This is the opportunity. This is probably one of the closest only times. Maybe next time it'll be different, whatever. But like now you have somebody who's not associated with those, I mean, loosely, but like, you know what I mean? They're their own kind of, like you said, we don't know where she really is as far as like her mainstays, but like, this is it. Now's the time to get somebody new in the White House.
I just, I really want to get back to having elections that aren't a threat to actual democracy anymore.
Just go back to like, let's just vote for people and knowing I want to vote for one of two people, knowing that regardless the country will be in hands of a person who at least
they're not trying to start a theocracy out of our fucking democracy. They're not trying to fucking take away people's rights or other or less than people that don't believe what they believe. This is a fair democracy of people, and I want to keep it that way or make it even more inclusive and less fucking exclusive, because that's how democracies should want to function. You shouldn't want to exclude people out of it. You shouldn't want to take away people's voices. You shouldn't want that. What the fuck, dude? Person, whatever the fuck.
It's hard to win when you are not an inclusive party. I like one thing that I will give Biden credit for is he said, I'm going to make an administration that looks like the people, and he did a pretty okay job of that, as far as his cabinet goes, including people of color and gay people and all these different things. And I think the White House itself needs to start looking like that more. So why not a woman who's a person of color, like getting in there? I mean, I think we shouldn't cycle through just white guy, white guy, white guy, white guy, white guy, Barack Obama, white guy, white guy, white guy, white. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's fucking been. It's just a bunch of white guys. Barack Obama stepped up and like took America by storm for fucking 8 years, and then it's just been the same shit again. And I'd like so one thing I kind of thought of, like when Eric was talking about how whatever we were talking about, Kamala's getting shit for all of that, the usual misogynistic woman hating bullshit. Like I've already seen posts from people who are parents of daughters, like being able to show, like in 2016 they were able to show their daughters, look, she's on the debate stage, like look, it's Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren and all these like women, like look how far you can fly. And now this is another opportunity where they can sit their daughters down if they're at an age, of course, they can understand and go, look, she could be president in 100 days or whatever the countdown is now, and I kind of like what I didn't realize until we kind of just talked about it is there is the flip side where you think there's all these daughters in all of these deep red states that have to grow up and sit around listening to their dads scream at Fox News and go, yeah, she just fucked her way to the top. She just did all these horrific things to get to the top. It's not on merit. And it's this idea that a woman can't be president for some goddamn reason. All of these different things. So like, again, it's not our audience that's going to need the warning, but like, I just wish people would be cognizant of this idea that like your children or your nieces, your nephews, like the young ones around you are fucking listening. And that shit is so huge. And it's the same thing like when Barack Obama ran, you have all these little fucking kids, all these little like black inner city kids, you know, that just, well, the president's never looked like me. And all of a sudden you get Barack Obama in the White House. And I'm sure all these kids just went like, holy shit, it's possible. Like, the White House looks like me now. And that's so huge, for so many people, I think. And of course I don't notice that I'm a white guy, right? So it is what it is, but I can see the effect that this is having on a lot of women. And yeah, it's left-leaning women, whatever, but again, it's just I just wish people would kind of think about those even those sideways little snippet comments, man. Kids listen and kids pick up on that. And if you kind of poo-poo the idea that a woman could be president around your daughter, well now she's, that's one thing she can't aspire to now that you've just said no, you can't do that. It's not going to happen. So what else have you ticked off their list? Can she not be a doctor? Could she not be a fucking physicist? Girls aren't good at math. Nope, can't work in the tech industry. Girls don't know how to do computers, all that shit. So it kind of that just made me think kind of the flip side of that. It's like, yes, they're all extremely proud. That's very cool. Kind of what's happening on the other side, when dad's watching fucking Fox News 10 beers deep, at night,
Right.
Yeah.
Hating the system but not wanting to change it. That whole thing.
Exactly, man. I mean, you got to play the game, and this is the game. If you want to change the game and the way the system works, you have to play within the rules as it's set up right now. And like I think I said in the last podcast, yeah, there's got to be a way that like we the people can come out swinging a little bit harder and do something more. I know protesting and things like that obviously is a huge way, all the demonstrations, and that's cool. But you know, I just hope that this truly course corrects. I hope this election really gets us back on course because, like, Biden was supposed to, I think, be a stopgap. I don't think he was ever supposed to truly be a two-term
Right.
president anyway. He was supposed to be a stopgap. Like, look, we can get Trump out of office now, and then in 4 more years, we'll figure it out. We don't have to worry about him. Unfortunately, we do have to worry about him because he's just a fucking gnat and he won't go away, like from attempting to get in the White House. So. Yeah, I don't think he was ever going to go 8 years. I don't think Biden was going to go.
I think initially he even said he wasn't going to.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And he was supposed to run in 2016 too, right? But then his son died.
I think maybe. I forget. 2016 was eons ago at this point.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Yeah, because I think Obama was trying to help him or trying to endorse him. But yeah, man. It's just crazy times.
It's a lot. A lot of stuff happened, man. I mean, there's probably shit we're forgetting that happened because all this fucking presidential political bullshit happened instead.
Yeah. I was at a point the other week when before Biden even dropped out, and I was, it was after the debate, after our podcast and everything, and I was on YouTube or TikTok or something. I looked up presidential debate highlights from like previous debates, and I didn't do any Trump ones. I started with Obama and Romney. Highest, they held each other with respect, didn't fucking call each other names and talk about golf. Mutual respect. Then I went back to the Kennedy debate, the first televised debate between him and Nixon. Still respect. That was pretty cool to watch, actually. But then I started getting into like the presidential speeches and things. And I remember, like, it kind of just dawned on me. I was like, I remember as a fucking like elementary school kid, and Kennedy was my favorite president just because he was the youngest one, I think. And I was like, yeah, he's banging chicks and stuff. I want to do that.
I want to do that. My 5-year-old Winky
hasn't grown. Anyway, it's like a blast from the past. Anyway, but I looked at these speeches and things like that, and it just kind of brought me back to when I was a young kid. I was like, I remember being inspired, seeing old JFK clips of him talking about going to the moon, speaking with that, the grit. It just like that, the emotion behind America, and like crowds, huge crowds. Trump brags about the fake ones, but his were real. Like these genuine people talking about how great America is going to be, and like where we're going to be, and not like how great it was and how we're gonna go set women back 50 years. Like we're like even Obama, like seeing his sense of humor, his charisma, like a real leader. Now we're dealt with like I said, like Biden, he is too old for the job. And then we got Trump, a bully. Like he just wants his fucking way in the White House for whatever reason, whether it's going to try to chase immunity because he's a criminal, or to fucking just to hold on to power and say he won and become a dictator, whatever. It's just kind of a sad fucking place. And I think I took it for granted, and I miss like saying, like, it's cliche to say that now, like even from like when Obama was elected when I was 9 to when I was 15 or whatever, right? Those years, I never really retained any of that shit because I was just too young to give a shit or too young to know. But seeing everybody who's running now, it's Trump kind of set the stage for modern politics as far as like being mean, being a bully. And it sounds like childish to say being mean and things like that. But then we see like how, and I've said this before, but then we see how, instead of like politicians being role models for like young kids, they're actually like being role models for 60, 65-year-old adults. And we're seeing like a change between like, they're not like they're not like being impressionable on those kids, or being impressionable on adults. And like people my age have to kind of like steer the old like adults back to like, hey, you can't be doing that. Like you can't treat people that way. anymore. Yeah. You kind of gotta, like they went around, they went full circle is my point here. And Trump kind of like, in a way it's funny because it's like he set back the country years because of Roe v. Wade and things like that. But he's also setting fucking these people back to being toddlers again. So he kind of just sucks is my point, I guess. I don't know. I thought about that earlier today. I thought I'd mention it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But
he kind of,
it's a good thought.
Yeah.
He kind of emboldens people to show their worst self. He brings out the worst in people.
Yeah.
There's no respect for, like I said earlier, there's no respect for people that disagree with you politically or ideologically or anything like that. It's, if you don't agree with me, you're less than me. You're evil. You're fucking less than human, and I'm gonna fucking hate you in every part of your being. It's dehumanizing, and it's causing division in this country, and I don't really know how to fix that part. On the flip side of that, like, look, Biden stepping down, like, huge props to him. Like, that he's putting country over party, over self, like you said, over pursuing power. And I think his speech where he announced that, he was saying kind of, he was almost pleading, I think it was a legit plea that people do their best to preserve democracy. And if we listen to that, then it'll be almost like laughable that he even said it, right? That's and like, this is the speech he's going to be remembered by. I don't know. I heard this on a different podcast. I'm trying to. It was a good idea, but like this speech, he's going to be remembered by it, and he's taking the risk that, okay, this is it. Like, this is what I'm going to be known for, and if it goes the way I'm asking it to go, I'm going to be called an alarmist. I'm going to be, belittled by it. But I think that's just another testament to him actually giving a shit, despite his mental shortcomings, I guess.
No, I mean, I think that last speech behind the Resolute desk, or I mean, maybe he'll give one more, but I think that's his swan song, dude. I mean, yeah, he's going to finish out the presidency, and then he's just going to walk off into the sunset and hopefully live out a good, however many years until he passes. But yeah, no, I think that's absolutely correct. That's of all the things that he did or didn't do during his presidency, I think that's what he's going to be remembered for sure. It's the biggest thing he did is a step down. He's the first one to do it, So it's definitely a huge thing. So he's doing it right. And honestly, being called an alarmist in 100 years might be the best thing that can happen for the country. Is we we thought we were voting to protect democracy, and look, we're fine, 50 years from now. Good. Those of us that were around will remember what was at stake, but I hope that, like, if you fucking folks that, you guys have kids or anything like that, I hope your kids never have to fucking hear about any of this shit. I hope they never have to hear about it besides in a history book. They go, wow, Dad, you lived through that? And you can go, yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm going to go have a beer now.
and
that would be my hope.
And to you undecided voters out there, if this doesn't, if that doesn't fucking sway you,
hurry up.
What the fuck are you doing? Like, you have one guy who's power hungry and tried to overthrow democracy and the will of the people, and you have this guy who's willingly stepping down from trying to get another term. You really don't know which, like, they're just the same, or I can't figure out which one's the lesser of two evils or the better choice. Really? Fucking really? Right. Come on.
Yeah, at that point you're just being an ass. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that thing, that expression where, like, artists don't really live long enough to see their art become a value type thing. It's similar to like legacy, I guess. So you have like Biden, where he's been in politics or whatever. He's probably thought of ways where he can, like, yeah, this is going to be my legacy. This is the thing I'm going to do that's going to cement me in history and things like that. Where he's at a point, like, similar to what you guys are saying. I just want to piggyback off it, but like, he's not gonna probably see the day where, like you said, if this does play out the way it does, or like if it doesn't, whatever, if he is the reason why we preserve, or like he's remembered by that, he's not going to see that. He's not going to see probably the positives that this comes from, unless it's immediate. But like, more than likely he's not going to. So like, he's not going to he's doing this with the idea that this is like a Hail Mary attempt at cementing his legacy, or knowing that this could be very much like he didn't accomplish it, like a legacy thing during his whole career. And he's like doing this as like, all right, well, this is what I feel like I have to do. It's the moral, it's the ethical, it's whatever, everything he's feeling. And we all know it's this best thing they could probably do. I don't know. I kind of lose my train of thought here, but I guess what I'm trying to say is like this is a huge, I feel like, moment in American history, or one of the bigger ones, especially if it works and Trump isn't elected, and then this is like it for him. It'd be kind of cool, I guess.
It's a big mic drop. It's kind of a mic drop to walk off into the sunset and be like, there, he's done. Like, you don't have to worry about him anymore. You know, the one thing I do miss too, like, so Eric, when you were looking up those videos, I don't know if you would have seen it. There's a chance you might have. Well, I guess I don't know, maybe not. So when Obama was campaigning against John McCain, um, there's this moment where like, so John McCain was doing a town hall. He's answering questions and all this stuff,
I think you know.
and someone in the audience, um, dude, honestly, like, yeah, I mean, respect to the dude, R.I.P. But like, he someone from the audience starts talking about, well, Obama, like, he's a Muslim and he doesn't like this country. Like, what are you going to do about that? I don't remember what the question is, but like, they just dog Obama. And John McCain goes like, whoa, like, look, stop. Like, my opponent is a respectful man. He loves his country, blah, blah, like, none of that is true. And corrects her, you know? And Obama's not standing in the
Right.
room. He could have just easily been like, yes, you're right. He
Yep.
hates his country and you should vote for me to protect it. He could have just as easily done that. But it was a respectful campaign where it's like, you know, they just both would, and you know, like, yeah, again, things would get heated. They would kind of dog on each other a little bit, you know, like you kind of expect, but it was never out of disrespect or hatred or any of that, you know, because Obama could do the same thing. Go, look, he served his country. He was a prisoner of war. Like, the dude has the medals and the fucking fucked up shoulder because he couldn't even lift it over his head. Like, he's got the fucking scars literally to prove it, you know, that he gave everything he had. You know, he loves this place. And I kind of like, I just miss when, like, I want to choose between two people that love the country and love the people in it. It's just, I think your ideas are not as good as my ideas. That's what I want to get back to, you know. But like, and I want the people, like, all those people that they're gonna hate the other team for not being the right team and fuck them and all that shit. Like, fine, stay on your fringes and stay in your mom's basement and like, go fuck yourself. That's whatever. You can have your bullshit. Just keep it away from everyone else. The problem is all those people are just crawling out of the woodwork like fucking just awful people to be awful, you know. And like, when campaigns were at least respectful, I could deal with all of this, and I could sit and I could watch the news and I could watch the debates and I could whatever. But again, you know, like I think Eric said, like, you're campaigning on, we want to turn back women's rights 50 years, and now we want to turn it back more. And Clarence Thomas, who is in an interracial marriage, has talked about turning back interracial marriage. They're talking about turning back gay marriage, right? So like, the fact that Trump was president and got a couple more psychopath justices in there, now that's all possible. Clarence Thomas is going to go so far right, he's going to annul his own fucking marriage. My brother in Christ, if you don't like your wife, file for divorce. I'm sure you know a lawyer that can do that for you. You don't need to like change the law and be like, just come home like, well, babe, looks like it's a 6-3 decision, and you're sleeping on the couch. You're moving out in the morning. I got you a bus ticket. Sorry,
my hands
nothing
are
I
tied.
can do. Nothing. Yeah, hands are tied.
Who'd you vote
Hands
for?
are tied. 6-3 decision.
Yeah.
I was on the good side. That's all I'll say. And you know, so like, I don't know, man. I miss being able to like watch fireworks on the 4th of July and get fucking hard and be like, fuck yeah,
That's
like,
so
let's
true,
go.
yeah.
Let's fucking be
Yeah.
American. Seriously, dude. We used to make jokes about that shit all the time. Like, with me, I'd fucking have American flag bullshit all the time. Like, you know, I wasn't super psycho, like, right winger patriot, but I was like, fuck yeah. Like, I back my guy fucking Barack. I've read all of his books, by the way. The dude's an incredible writer. Like, I fucking loved that shit. And I was like, fuck yeah, I can go to bed knowing that this dude is trying to make us like a powerhouse for good in the world. And now it's just like, well, I hope we don't fucking burn the house down in the next 4
Yep.
years.
I hope I'm still able to go out in public and not get fucking black bagged over the head and fucking
Shot or
taken to
something.
Guantanamo because of my beliefs or anything like that.
Yeah, get waterboarded because I'm a Democrat or something by some psycho. No, I tell you what, man, like, I don't think Kamala Harris is the one to heal the nation. But I think she's someone who, when I go to bed at night, I think I'll be able to be like, look, she's trying her best and she's not doing it out of malice or anything. She's just trying her fucking best to get this
She
shit figured
doesn't
out.
want to
You know
be
what
a
I mean?
dictator, not even for a day, not even for one day.
Right.
Just on day one. That's too many days, brother.
Yeah, just on day one. What the fuck? Yeah, that is exactly. We had a war about this in 1776. Fucking
Not even one.
cocksucker.
Yeah, it's like doing something illegal. It's still illegal, brother. Still illegal.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, you do 30 in a 20-mile-an-hour zone, that's still illegal, even if you just do it once. And also, again, Trump, when you rape one 12-year-old, it's still illegal that one time. You sick, disgusting fuck. I want just so everyone's clear, he's a rapist.
That wasn't on the top of your head.
Like that happened.
That wasn't just on your mind.
No, that wasn't just a thing I made up. No, that's the
Listen to the other podcast.
Again, for you undecided listeners, yeah, if you have any undecided listeners, yeah, just he's a rapist.
Yeah.
So vote for a rapist or vote for a woman of color. I don't know. One of those seems fine, and the other one seems not so fine.
And for the love of God,
you decide.
For the love of God, two things: stop sharing those fucking lying pictures that he's in.
Oh God.
And Rick, I can tone it down. And secondly, fucking speaking of AI, just stop making AI videos with fake voices in it, with the president's voices, and thinking they're real. That's all I gotta say. Final words from you guys, and we can wrap it up here.
That's not going to stop. Won't.
I do like the AI video that they made of the debates where Biden and Trump kissed. That was funny. I thought that was pretty good. Do continue to make videos of presidents talking with Zoomer fucking slang. Hearing Joe Biden talk about his W Riz and shit, I love that shit. Keep it up. That's good content.
I can deal with that too, yeah. Rick, how about you?
I don't fucking know.
All right.
Big Zeke 2028. Let's fucking go, boys and girls. I'll be old enough by then.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Love you, bye.
All right.